one more quickie. Back to Burger King. The administration has made several comments, statements, even speeches against inversions, but there hasn't been any action taken. Is that the intent, or is that the strategy to produce some sort of chilling effect among corporate boardrooms?
That is not no. The goal here is to change the law and get Congress to pass legislation that would prevent the ability of American corporations to renounce their citizenship, all in pursuit of trying to get out of paying their fair share of U.S. taxes. Now, there are a couple different ways we can tackle this problem. The first is the president does believe, and has had on the table for quite some time, a proposal for reforming the business tax code in a way that would lower the tax rate for all American businesses, close some loopholes, and use some of that revenue to invest in things like infrastructure and job training programs. This would also have the goal of making our tax code and therefore American businesses more competitive in the international community. So there are a whole bunch of reasons why Congress should take action on corporate tax reform. I'll acknowledge here right at the top that that's a significant endeavor and a complicated one that's going to take some time to succeed.
It's impossible. They have only about 10 legislative days before they go home for the elections. So, are you waiting for that to pass and then issue an executive order?
No. So what we have said is that we certainly believe that dealing with broader corporate tax reform is an important goal. It's something the president's been pushing for quite some time for a variety of reasons, both to enhance American competitiveness, but also to generate the kind of revenue that could be used to strengthen the U.S. economy. Separately, we do believe, because of the complicated nature of corporate tax reform, that's going to take some time, as you point out. What the U.S. Congress could do in the short term is just pass a piece of standalone legislation that would essentially close the inversions loophole that would prevent companies from pursuing this kind of financial tactic. They could do that retroactively. We believe that they should, to ensure that there are companies that can't sort of slip in under the wire here and take advantage of a rather slow-moving Congress. I would remind you and your readers that this is consistent with previous congressional action. Back in 2004, there's a similar loophole that Congress took action to close that passed with strong bipartisan support through the House. Passed with bipartisan support through the Senate. It was signed into law by a Republican president of the United States. And all of that took place in the run-up to a national election. So there's no reason that we shouldn't see Congress act in similar bipartisan fashion this year, have it be signed into law by a Democratic president, and for all that to take place in a month or two before the national election. That wouldn't be unprecedented. In fact, it would be very consistent with steps that Congress took just a decade ago.